How's it going, Rams? Welcome back to another edition of CTV Sports. I'm Mike Walsh.
And I'm Leah Cackowski. The spring season has hit the brakes a little bit, but that doesn't stop our coverage. Here's what we have for you tonight. Although the weather wasn't kind, football's green and gold game was still in full steam. We'll provide you our takeaways from the afternoon of action.
CSU tennis returned home to their fort this past weekend. See how the Rams fared against New Mexico and Air Force.
And lastly, we'll rank the top moments in CSU Athletics from the academic year in Cack's Closeout.
All of that and more on CTV Sports, which starts right now. We kick things off over in Canvas, where the cold and wind welcomed the annual Green and Gold game. And while there may have been some lows, the Rams still put on a show for those who bore the harsh conditions. From flashy catches to brutal interceptions, this one really had it all. Right from the get-go, the green team, or in simpler terms, the starters, were firing on all cylinders with a huge catch and run early from Justice Ross Simmons that led to a quick TD for newly turned running back Van Shield. And speaking of Van Shield, he was a beast all day, rolling into the end zone 3 times and getting more yards than anyone could have guessed. But that was all just the first half, as in the second, all offensive production came to a halt. Instead, we saw a defensive takeover with multiple punts and unfortunately multiple interceptions. The game ended 27-24 in favor of the green team, and while it may have seemed close on that final scoreboard, the white team was given a 21-0 lead to start the afternoon. But with its conclusion, the spring season for football is officially over, and with that gave us some hopeful comments from the top guys in the program. Here's quarterback Clay Millen and safety Jack Howell.
I think that at the end of the day, it's been kind of good for me to get a chance to go throw to guys like LB, Justice, and Dallin, and it really gives me a chance all spring to get really comfortable with them, because I know as soon as Tori gets back in, we'll click instantly again. So this just gave me a great chance to get a feel for all my other guys, see what they can do. They're all playmakers, and get comfortable with them. So I think it's been a great spring just to get to throw to them and get really comfortable with them.
Tackle good, and we're having a big emphasis on tackling with a lower pad level, and I think that showed up. And I think our corners, we got a lot of new corners, and they played really good, and took away the fade ball, so I was happy with how everyone played.
Millen set a school record for completion percentage a season ago, and Howell has separated himself in the secondary pretty much every day. So both guys clearly have the talent. It's just a matter of whether it translates into wins. Head coach Jay Norvell shared some final remarks of his own following Saturday's outing.
It's hard to believe spring's over with already. 15 practices went really fast. Was really just pleased how we finished today. I thought guys were focused and sharp, and we had a good day's work in.
All Ram fans have to be encouraged after hearing those words from the man in charge. And what's more, Coach Norvell also said in that same press conference that the team could add up to 50 new players this summer. So yeah, some potential major changes ahead, but we'll just have to wait and see into the fall and see how it all unfolds. But now, Leah, what's the update on softball?
Well, Mike, the Rams headed up to the Hawkeye State to face non-conference foe Iowa State. The series consisted of 2 days, both filled with doubleheaders. And coming out of the Big 12, the Cyclones are a very unimpressive 16-26 on the year. But unfortunately, it was a pretty average weekend for the green and gold. It was a tale of 2 days for sure. On Friday, Colorado State had a very slow start in Game 1, but rallied quite the comeback, plating 4 runs in the 7th to even the scoring, and eventually taking the dub in extra innings. In Game 2, the Rams won pretty handily, coming out on top 9-6. But then we get to Saturday, and this is where disaster struck. ISU completely shut out the Rams, and you guessed it, in another run rule of just 6 innings with a score of 8-0. Geez. And with a defeat like that, the green and gold couldn't muster any more energy and fell again, this time 6-2. Wow. I don't know what's been going on with all the run rules this season, but it's been such a roller coaster ride for the Rams. And honestly, there isn't much wiggle room left because the girls only have 2 series remaining. With that in mind, let's see how CSU looks approaching tournament play in just a few weeks. The Rams sit at 5th in the conference, just barely behind San Jose State and Fresno State. A lot of those run rule losses unfortunately took a toll on them, as they have yet to breach a 500 record in conference. Keep in mind though, CSU just needs to stay in the top 6 for a bid in the conference tourney. I hope the Rams find a way to finish out the year strong as they compete against, who do you know, the Bulldogs of Fresno State this coming weekend. And it should be a battle for sure as both squads are pretty evenly matched. But we'll just have to wait and see come Thursday. But let's transition from the dirt to the court. Mike, were the Rams able to hold their ground at home?
Well, Leah, the women's tennis team finally gave Ram fans another 2-win weekend, and it couldn't have come at a better time as the Rams now prepare for the Mountain West Championships starting this Thursday. But perhaps I'm getting too ahead of myself. Let's first analyze this past weekend's matches. Coming into Friday, the Rams were feeling good, fresh off a W against Boise State and hungry for 2 more. But this New Mexico team is no joke, putting together a solid win over the Rams' #1 doubles team while also stealing away 3 singles wins. Unfortunately for the Lobos, this was the Rams' senior day, and there's no way Victoria Zaginskaya could let this one slip away. For what seems like the 10th time, Zaginskaya was forced into the game-deciding match, and she did what she does best and dominated, winning her last 2 sets 6-3 and 7-5 to seal the Rams' dub. But she wasn't the only contributor in the win, as the Rams' #2 and 3 doubles teams were both victorious in their matches, also seeing some crucial wins from Bushkova and Rikhterova in the singles in some pretty lopsided matches. But that was just Friday. The Rams still had an entire match to play on Saturday, and this one was similar in many ways, coming down to the wire and ending again with Zaginskaya. Proving her value to the team, Zaginskaya came up with another game-clinching win, besting her opponent 7-6 in the final of their 3 sets. Also on Saturday, we saw a few big wins from Rams like Emily Dush and Sarah Weekly in the singles columns, and this one was really written in the solo columns as the Rams dropped 2 out of their 3 doubles matches but managed to grab 4 out of these 6 singles. So a well-rounded weekend that is sure to give the Rams some much-needed momentum as they start the conference championships this weekend, so be sure to tune in next Tuesday for the results. But in any case, how about we stay outside? Leah, give us a rundown from track and field.
You've got it, Mike. Colorado State competed in 2 separate meets this weekend, beginning on Friday at the Colorado School of Mines. The Rams decided to take a smaller group to Golden after impending weather shortened the originally planned 2-day affair to just 1. Regardless, as the sun crossed the morning sky, the green and gold showed out. 2 Rams notched first-place honors, Anna Petter in the women's 1,500-meter run and Keelan McNally in the women's 5K. McNally, for her part, set a new personal best and was closely followed by fellow freshman Isabella Procino. Sydney Peterson also made her name known, placing second in the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase. On the men's side, the 10K in particular stood out, seeing 3 Rams clock inside the top 12. And though the Rams distance runners were on the road, the rest of the team participated in the second home meet of the season. CSU hosted the Fu McGraw Power Meet last Sunday. And in case you were wondering, the term Power Meet means that only field events and track events under 800 meters would be in action. Despite this, we want to narrow our focus to just 2 Rams. Freshman Vincent Flegens won the men's 100-meter hurdles with a personal best time of 14.26 seconds. That mark is good for 3rd in the Mountain West season so far. Meanwhile, Tay Raymond Holker had a big day as well, winning 2 events, the women's long jump and 100-meter dash, the latter of which currently ranks 2nd in the conference. Overall, Colorado State was able to sweep the top 3 spots in 6 different events. Maintaining success this late couldn't be more crucial, as the Rams only have 1 more weekend before the Mountain West Championship meet, which starts May 11th and runs through the 13th. And speaking of championship week, Mike, how did our Rams swing on the fairway?
Well, Leah, to say the recent performance by women's golf was historic would be an understatement. The Rams smashed the program's team record by 26 strokes, and it happened on the year's biggest stage, the Mountain West Championship. CSU finished with a score of 3 under 861 to place in 3rd place. Behind this effort was a trio of Rams who landed inside the top 10. Sophia Torres and Lacey Uchida tied for 3rd under with a 4 under 212, and only a few spots down with just 1 extra swing was Andrea Bergstotier, who tied for 6th. The 3 top 10 finishers are the best Colorado State has seen since 2001. And while I'm just so pleased with how the Rams concluded their season, they definitely experienced their bit of struggles throughout, but what a way to end it. And Leah, the men's team will have their chance at a league title in a few days, and hopefully we'll see some similar results.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one player comes to mind for me is just Davis Bryant. He's been so awesome throughout his time here, so I'm excited to see what's coming.
He's breaking records, and honestly, the team is breaking records overall.
No, they've been doing awesome, so I'm excited as well. And well, this excitement persists even in the offseason for some sports. And that's because CSU men's basketball just announced 2 6'6" Southern Colorado native guards will join the 2023-24 squad. The names from the transfer portal include Neat Clifford from CU Boulder and down from the pit, Javante Johnson with New Mexico. This will be huge for the green and gold due to the lack of guard inventory after multiple players left. So let's look at some of the highlights. First up, Clifford is such a weapon on the court. He shoots at 37% clip and racks up about 4 rebounds a game. He comes in and out when the coaches need him and uses his height and strength to get easy buckets. His stature is sure to improve the defense as well. I'm really excited for Clifford to be joining the team. I mean, he did put up a solid 13 points at last year's Rocky Mountain Showdown against us. So it'll be nice to have a former Buff on our side. Now, let's talk about another guard who put up some quality numbers against CSU last season as well. Johnson has an amazing presence on the court, being able to shoot threes at 31% accuracy and 46 overall from the field. Wow. I would say his best asset is ball vision and getting into the paint. Like Clifford, he also uses his height to his advantage. Overall, I'm really hyped for both of these incoming transfers, especially since guards in the past haven't really compared in terms of length. And their veteran experience in successful programs will really add maturity to this younger team. Mike, what do you make of these new additions?
You know, I think with losing guys like John Tonje and Isaiah Rivera, these guys are nice fill-ins on the wing. I mean, both got the height, both got the defensive skill. Now we just got to see if they got that scoring.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're going to fit really well with this team and mesh with their height especially. That's going to be huge on the wing, and so I'm really excited for them to come.
Alongside Joel Scott, too.
Yes.
It could be a 20-point per game score.
Oh, my gosh. So things are looking up.
They could complement him really well.
I think that's going to be awesome, yes. And well, Rams, it's time to take our first and, yes, our only break of the show.
But when we come back, we'll present to you our top 10 CSU moments of the year. That's coming up right here on CTV Sports. Terrible.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. We're nearly done with the semester, just 2 weeks remain before finals. And through the last 8 months, we've seen many moments that have made this stalwart experience special. But which moments stick out the most? That's what I'll be highlighting tonight on Cack's Closeout, which starts right now. And actually, Cack's Closeout won't just be me tonight because it's going to be the 4 of us. The Tuesday night sports panel is here for a trip down memory lane.
And have we seen disappointment this year? Of course we have. But don't let them distract you from what the Rams actually had going for them this year. Because if you think about it, there's actually quite a lot.
So with that, it's time to count down our top picks for the top 10 CSU sports moments of the academic year.
Starting with number 10.
now, CTV Sports brings you our top 10 CSU Athletic moments of the year. Number 10.
Wow, so the Canvas Classic was definitely awesome. Dylan, I know you were excited about that. We were both there. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, it was a really exciting event to be at. You had the back-to-back games. First, Rocky Mountain and Pooter in the opener, Fort Collins, Fossil Ridge in the closer. It was just, it was really great to see a bunch of high school ball getting played at Canvas Stadium. Just getting to see those kids all wide-eyed as they're entering that giant stadium was just, it was a treat. What did you think of it, Payton?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw, but from here on out, Colorado high school football, like state champions for 4A and 5A, are going to start being played at Canvas Stadium. So I think that'll be awesome.
It's giving CSU a ton of hype, and those high school recruits might want to come here just from
time.
playing Canvas Stadium.
Big
Exactly,
time.
yeah. And I mean, they're bringing back the Canvas Classic next year, so we'll see those 4 teams again here. I believe it's in October, so that'll be exciting.
I think that's going to be awesome because I think the championships were at Mile High for like 18, 20 years almost, a really long time. So it's kind of nice to see it switching up. I mean, they already added the 6A this year, right, for CHASA. So they're switching things up, but I think it's going to be great for CSU personally. I mean, thank God they didn't pick it to be at Boulder. So, I mean, they've been getting so much hype this year. So it's kind of nice to see that Fort Collins get in love with that.
Yeah, give us the hype at least.
We've got one up on Coach Prime now. So.
I know, we have high school football at least. So that's I mean, we've talked about it all year. I think personally some people here would have wanted to put that at number 1, but we won't name any names.
Maybe someone.
And all right, putting high school behind us, it's time for what we have at number 9.
Number 9.
Boyle's kick, way off. There is a flag.
Running into the kicker. Defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Michael Boyle to win the game. He's got it! And the nation's longest losing streak is over. Colorado State comes into Reno, and Jay Norvell gets the last laugh.
You know, personally here, I would have had that a little higher on my list, but you know, I got a soft spot for football and Norvell. That was his first win, and it was over his former team. So, I mean, to me, that was an awesome moment. I'll respect it at 9, but definitely could have been higher.
I don't know. I just think with the season that we had, for 1, and for 2, that was the only, like the field goal was the only offensive points they had in the whole game. Like it really wasn't a good game.
Let's not forget that this team, they came in with the longest losing streak stretching back to last year. They were in a dark place, and I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
We will look back at that as the first win of Norvell's career, especially against his old team, and that will hold fond memories for years. What do you think, Leah?
I mean, right, a win's a win on paper, so it could be ugly, but they don't write that down. So I think, you know, I love Jay Norvell. Like, you've been able to go to all those, you know, spring games and the practices and stuff, so I think it's been, you know, finally starting to get going, and that game started that. Even though there wasn't much afterwards, it didn't really, you know, snowball enough. But I think it was a cool moment for sure. Like, nothing beats, you know, defeating your old team. And
I just think for Norvell, it was such
for
a
him.
special moment, and then just the team's first win after the huge losing streak. Just a big moment for the overall football program.
Yeah, I agree.
This game also made the Buffs the only winless team.
Yes, that's so
it
right.
had a lot of benefits to it, which is good news.
We look at it, it was a 3-9 season, but that's how Norvell started at Nevada with 3-9. We talked about it, and then he led to several winning seasons. So, I mean, winning ways are in order for the Rams, I feel like.
We keep talking about it. We're like, okay, we just got to get through that one season, and then we're going to get there. So I think it's looking up. I think it's going to be good. And okay, that was 2 football ones right out of the gate. Honestly, not what you'd expect given CSU's record a season ago. But in any case, we've come to number 8.
Number 8.
You know, this one also ranks really high for me because being able to watch Tom Hilbert at my time here, he is one of the best, most successful coaches, honestly, I've ever seen.
Might be the most.
He is. I think he actually has the most winningest seasons at CSU ever in history. And I believe he had 26 Mountain West, tournament wins alone. Yeah. And going to the NCAA tournament so many times, and he just cares about those girls as people and really just wants to get to know them and make them better as human beings, let alone athletes. So I'm really going to miss Tom Hilbert.
I think his biggest thing was his consistency.
Yes.
They were just always good.
Yes.
Tom always knew what to say, always knew what adjustments to make, and they always made him in the game, and it was awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, you look at Tom Hilbert, he just had a special aura about him. When you watched him on the bench, when you were at CSU volleyball, you could just feel that something was truly different when he was coaching a game.
100%. I think it was really interesting. He was inducted into the CSU Hall of Fame in 2006.
Wow.
And I found that interesting just because then for him to go on and coach even for so long
Yeah.
after. I think it was great in 2006.
It kept getting better.
Yeah.
He had a Hall of Fame career and then coached 15 years after that. You don't see
exactly.
that often.
You don't see that.
I thought that was so cool.
And like you said, Mike, I think he was always very composed is what I've known him. Super even keel, he just wanted to be there to win, but also, again, he never really got that rattled from what I noticed. So that's I think that's huge.
He always credited his team.
Yes.
In his press conferences, all he did was talk about his
So
team.
humble. Everything was about everyone else. So we're definitely going to miss him. And I think we all knew Tom Hilbert would crack the top 10 at some point. It's truly amazing what he built here at CSU, and hopefully it can continue with first-year head coach Emily Cohan. But okay, here's number 7.
Number 7.
I think that this is so cool, not only with the new field and stadium and everything, they also did the improved fan seating, new dugouts, the netting, the lighting. I think this was so awesome for CSU to do.
This was a great investment.
Most definitely.
There's no way anyone could say this was a bad investment.
Yeah,
just
100%.
for the softball team, for the sports program as a whole.
I think it's great. The Bohemian Foundation's donation is what funded the whole thing,
That was
too.
a huge deal.
Yeah, they're always huge for any kind of sports donations.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
just for the overall softball team, and they're winning games this year. So, I mean, being in that new stadium, everyone wants to come out. We got to sell out a crowd there.
Definitely.
Well, and looking at it too, these girls, there almost wasn't a softball program. We've been talking about that a lot. And so for them to come from almost, nothing 20 years ago, and now they have this awesome field at home playing in front of the entire community, everyone around them, like you said, they're winning. That is the biggest thing of having your own field. So I think it's really awesome.
I think the big thing has been that community aspect because
Yes.
the community has really come around and rallied around this softball team this spring. You've been seeing the support, you've been seeing the fans get out, and just you can feel that there's a hype and a buzz around CSU softball again, and it's really great to see.
Well deserved.
Yeah, I met a fan actually there, and I asked if he had a daughter on the team, and he goes, no, my daughter played, back when the program almost got cut, but he's been supporting them ever since. He goes to almost every single home game.
So awesome.
How awesome is that? That's what I love about CSU. There are a lot of old, not old, but loyal fans that stick around, which I think is really cool.
Definitely.
And if you tuned in during last Thursday's news show, Madeline Davis gave you an even deeper insight into the significance of the Rams' new ballpark. You can check it out on our YouTube page. But regardless, let's move on to moment number 6.
Number 6.
Well, I mean, we already touched on it at the beginning of the show with Mike, but I mean, 26 strokes better than their best in the Mountain West Championship. It's truly some historic stuff.
I mean, the biggest stage, and you put on that kind of performance, that is just special. I've never seen anything
Takes
like that.
guts.
26 strokes.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, in golf, I know probably a lot of people don't know the golf term, but 26 strokes is an insane number to be under.
I mean, I know you love watching the Masters. You're just a golf fan in general. Not really related, but I'm super proud of these girls. It's a really good accomplishment.
Definitely. It was their first top 3 finish at the championship since 2018.
Wow.
So they broke a few records.
One, honestly.
Yeah,
True.
I know, honestly.
There's just so many good moments. It's hard to choose.
There's way too many to look at, but yeah, I
They're
think this one was
killing
awesome. And all right, we've reached the midway point. Here's what we have at number 5.
Number 5.
Sarah Carter broke the indoor 5K, the indoor 3K, and the outdoor 5K all in one season.
Wow.
It's been truly incredible. I mean, Carter, I've gotten a chance to speak with her. She's been injured these past couple seasons, and she's come to CSU, and she's just absolutely torn it up. She had no expectations coming into this season, but then to break 3 school records, breaking 1's hard enough, but 3, it's truly unreal.
I think, too, this is just, like, proves why sports are so great because players are able to come back. We look at players even this year, too, Isaiah Stevens being hurt, coming back, and to break all of those records just says everything about, determination and all that grit on, the work that she had to put in.
And I mean, 5Ks, 3Ks.
Yeah, that's
those
not
are
easy.
long races. Those are hard races, especially to cut that much time off each race. That is an insane feat.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
it's hard to train for, and then it's even harder to compete, and so just an incredible job.
Yeah.
Definitely. A little bit more of a shocking statistic on this one. She was the first All-American woman for CSU since 1997.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even
Long
better.
time.
Yeah, she killed it.
A long time, yeah. Comeback story of the year, Sarah Carter's. And there were so many moments we could have selected from track. The Rams have dominated all season long. But okay, here's moment number 4.
Number 4.
All right, McKenna Hofschild, do we really need to say more? I have, been pretty vocal all year. I think I might be her biggest fan. She is just, I can't say it enough. I have so much respect for her. I am so thankful that we get to see her for another year.
Yep.
She, Mountain West Player of the Year.
Yep.
It's McKenna Hofschild.
And AP honorable mention.
Yes.
Yep.
And she continues to amaze me every day.
She's just so efficient, the way she can get to the basket, the way she can dish the ball. She just does it all on the court, really just does it all for the Rams.
Yep.
She just didn't make mistakes this year. She just had what might be the perfect season, and then next year she's looking to have an even more perfect season, if that's possible.
If it's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys said it. She's incredible.
She's insane. She's like, I've made the reference before. She's like Jokic. They just expect her to go in and just be amazing, and she was. So,
She does.
And I mean, if we didn't mention Hofschild during this segment, I think our director, Brandon, might as well fire us all. And what's crazy is that Hofschild still has 1 more year left. I couldn't be more excited for what she has in store for her senior campaign. But okay, we're nearing the end, so let's see what's at number 3.
Number 3.
All right, so volleyball, we've talked about them a lot, but this is their first ever sellout, border war, whiteout, just an unmatched atmosphere.
I mean, this game just had everything. That atmosphere in that stadium was crazy all night long. Those fans were relentless all night long.
Tom Hilbert, this year wasn't exactly, his most amazing season, like coming with stats, but This, I think, was his first sellout. So, like, that's a huge high note for him and these girls. And it got a lot of, like, buzz and talk about volleyball, which is always good to see.
I think overall, this probably was the biggest fan experience we had the whole
year
with any sport. I think this is the most fans we had there and the most invested they were.
And they stayed the entire time.
Yeah.
And, I think so, too. Even with basketball this year, I can't remember when we've had a sellout crowd. Not like that.
No.
It was awesome.
I think the biggest thing to say is just it was so well deserved. Like for Tom and the team, like I just think it was such a cool experience.
Yeah,
Yep,
agreed.
I agree. And just like track volleyball could have had its fair share as well, the season opener against North Carolina at Moby also comes to mind. Perhaps Stanford or Kentucky next year will make 2024's list. But that's enough volleyball love. On to moment number 2.
Number 2.
I think swim and dive, this is an accolade that isn't talked about a lot, but such a huge, very, very cool one to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to really admit this, but I did not know this
No, me
until we
either.
started talking about this. So that is insane. For any kind of sport, not losing in 2 full seasons, that is just an insane feat for anyone.
And I got a chance, to talk to some of these girls, and like all they really want is support, and to have. It's not like they're a bad program.
Yeah,
They are.
Never been bad.
They are way, way, way above the mark of being like absolutely outstanding. So I think that they don't get enough credit at all, and this is a huge accomplishment.
They deserve a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, they deserve
100%.
way more.
They never get it.
You look at like track, golf, and then especially swim and dive. These are some of our elite programs that we have here that just don't get talked enough about.
Yeah.
I mean, that swim and dive team going undefeated in duels is just, it's unreal. They know how to show when the pressure's down.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
And that's just going to be our job here at CTV. That's we gotta get these guys noticed. And well, we've reached our top moment. The voice of CTV Sports, take it away.
Number 1.
Clock starts on the pickup. Stevens takes the 3. Jackpot with 5.3. And again, a chance to work the baseline. Rivera to trigger. Floats ahead. Stevens with the catch. 1 second left. Front half corner goes. We're tied at 70. Jackpot in Vegas for Isaiah Stevens. 10 seconds left. Tajay pivots. The freshman Jackson. Here's Stevens. Step back. He did it again. With 3.4, Colorado State leads by 1. You have got to be kidding me. Colorado State comes on the road. Isaiah Stevens. 2 huge shots down the stretch.
In all honesty, those highlights speak for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously great plays, but just watching them, you just see what Stevens did. An insane feat. Basically 2 game winners, 1 game tire. Could have been 2 game winners there. Just insane shots he had. Don't you think?
Just truly insane. You look at like the way he was just chucking up those shots. They didn't look like they were going in under any circumstance. I throw those are 4 feet off the backboard. But for him, they're just all money.
Yeah,
What do you think, Leah?
33 points. I mean,
Just nuts.
The one word two words actually I have written down for this are ridiculous and speechless.
There you go.
Because if you think about it, he comes up time and time again. Like, again, so expected for him to have a showing like that. I rewatch that all the time. Like, it is such a memorable moment. I mean, I know Barstool had, it was on everybody's page. Everyone was posting it, and it makes sense.
I mean, it's probably easily the biggest moment, singular moment in CSU Sports
100%.
this year. Obviously, I think the volleyball one was a bigger, overall moment.
Yeah.
The singular moment, that was probably the biggest one CSU had.
I feel passionate about this one.
Yeah?
I just love watching that video. I think Isaiah Stevens is such an amazing athlete.
he
You
is.
mentioned he had, those 2 shots were incredible,
Yeah.
but he had 33 points the whole game.
9 assists, and 8
100%.
rebounds.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes, he was the king of the world. No one could stop
He's
him.
insane.
And it was funny, we go back to Vegas obviously for the, Mountain West tournament, and he, everyone was like, he's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it
almost
again.
did.
And he almost did. And
A foot off the
he was
rim.
so close, and he, had such a slow first half, unfortunately, but you can't, it's so much to put on.
Yeah.
And
He
so
has all the pressure on.
he has all the pressure on him. Everyone's expecting to make those shots again. But I mean, at the end, it was just it was heartbreaking. But we won't focus on that.
Yeah.
He did the first time at
did.
UNLV
It was a huge shot.
it was great.
Huge shots.
Huge shots. But yeah, we just had some awesome moments this
Hopefully
year.
we get him back next year.
I know.
I mean,
I'm rooting for him, but
I'm saying right now, if we get him back, that's a tournament run
right there.
I think so too.
I honestly do too.
Stevens and Hofschild, they were great this year. Imagine how much better they would be next year.
A year from now,
We need
and
them.
you know, with people that are veterans on the team that they're bringing in and working with those players that have experience is going to be huge. Definitely. And well, Ram fans, that is all the sports action we have for you tonight. Be sure to catch the final episode of CTV Cooks tomorrow as Gideon and Julie put their recipes head to head. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you then.